Sad Keanu.
He wants to play Constantine again, and I feel like nobody remembers this performance.
I bet you if you looked at more people probably remember the cover of that's all I remember. Like the
it's
cover
just
of the
him
movie.
walking, and like there's like faded wings, and it just says Constantine.
So before we start reading this article, this is an article from IGN, and it says Keanu Reeves wants to play Constantine again, but no one will let him. So all I think of is the sad Keanu meme, and I also have to ask the question: if anybody's seen one of these episodes before, Miracle is a huge fan
of John Constantine,
of the Matt Ryan
Yes.
portrayal of John Constantine. So, which would you rather see?
I like both performance actually.
Have them battle?
Yeah, but like for me, if like you want like the face of John Constantine, I feel like you have to get the TV show version because
The Matt Ryan version.
The Matt Ryan. Sorry, I forgot his name.
He does look.
He looks like the character. Like if you imagine John Constantine, you imagine a rugged British man who doesn't care about anything. He keeps on saying boggers, and I'm like, yes.
Something I thought was funny about. I was rewatching the early seasons of Lucifer recently. And I realized that you know how he never actually smokes the cigarette. They always show him putting it out, but they never actually show him using the cigarette.
Yeah,
that's like so Hollywood in 2021 that you're not that they can't show stuff like that because that'd be bad. Same with like Candace Patton who plays on The Flash.
Yeah,
there's like they covered her up. She's saying like she's not allowed to show her midsection on screen. It's just so freaking weird.
Well, John Constantine, the Matt Ryan version. Basically, I think he did smoke, especially in Legends of Tomorrow. Like he did smoke.
I would have to go back and look. I don't know if he did or if it's just him holding it or if he ever actually uses it.
There was a scene where he was holding it, but then there was another scene in Legends of Tomorrow where he actually physically smoked it.
Maybe they let him. No, but Lucifer they didn't. He was never allowed to.
But
maybe maybe that changed on the Netflix versions. I don't remember. But he was not allowed to on the network television version.
Well, come on, like I like Keanu's Reeves version of Constantine, like the movie. I like it because like it shows like he doesn't really have a heart. Because if you don't know about the character John Constantine, he does have a big heart, but like when you first meet him, he is like an a-hole. He's like, I don't care. Do you have the money? You do? Cool. And like because this character, more background story about him, he sold his soul to the devil. And like basically his main goal is to get a little girl that he promised to get her and release her from hell, but he can't. That's his like main goal. Like the whole goal of him is trying to get her out. But in Legends of Tomorrow, he finally gets her out, but she's like, let me back in. That's the only world I know. Yeah. Yeah. And he was like heartbroken. And
very
like
sad.
and somebody that he loved, he saved him. And he was like, why did you do this? You're the reason why I was like this in the first place. I blame you, John Constantine. I curse thee. Yeah.
I don't know.
And he had a relationship with King Shark.
Okay, that's fine. That's so comic book. It's not even funny. That should have been in the movie. That should have been in
It was in the animated movie, the Dark Universe.
That should have been in a bonus scene from the Suicide Squad film.
It should have. Like John Constantine comes out of nowhere and he's like, sup, babe.
Oh, God. Let's see what they say.
Character,
so it says Keanu Reeves is returning to a lot of iconic roles recently, from Neo in The Matrix Resurrections to Ted in Bill and Ted Face the Music. But one role nobody is asking him to return to, despite Reeves' personal desire to, is John Constantine. Speaking to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Reeves was asked about what other past role he'd like to return to, knowing that if he asked, he could probably get it. But that's not true, Reeves explained. That's not true. That happens. I would love to play John Constantine again from the Constantine movie. Reeves added that while he tried to get a second Constantine movie off the ground with him in the role, there was no interest from Hollywood.
It wasn't a bad movie.
I tried, Stephen. Reeves repeats forlornly. Forlornly. Reeves played John Constantine, an exorcist from the DC Vertigo universe, as a member of the Justice League Dark in the movie back in 2005. That's probably, that's a big reason why, is like it was just a different time.
It was a different time, but also I think a major thing is like he didn't fit the John Constantine look. Like he had the...
I don't know how much Hollywood cares about that.
Well, like still...
I don't think Hollywood gives a crap about whether you actually look like the character. I don't. Let me rephrase it. I don't think that's why it didn't get a second movie didn't get off the ground.
Well, also, okay, I admit it. It was kind of cheesy, but I loved it because I kind of like the dark occult kind of style movies. That's just my thing. Yeah. And like I'm a big fan of Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, like that Netflix show. I love it. Oh my god! Sorry.
Stop yelling, woman.
Sorry, I just love that show because like it's like a whole new twist on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, okay. That I remember.
Yeah, so basically it's like written the same time as Riverdale. Like Riverdale.
And you love Riverdale. I keep forgetting that.
I only like the first 2 seasons.
Ugh.
The rest of them is like really bad.
I can't watch that stuff. It's too cheesy even for me.
Really? You don't want to know who murdered Cheryl Blossom's brother Jason?
I don't care.
Jason Blossom, dead in the river.
I don't care about the Vampire Diaries.
I don't care for it either.
I barely got through like season 1 and 2 of True Blood, even though I love Joe Manganiello.
I still need to watch that show.
That show was went from very high acclaim, given that vampires were very in at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But
come on, Sabrina, we need to watch it. It was so good until like the end where she was like, "Yeah, I'm just here," and she was like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I just want to be with you," so I died.
It's very adorable.
Yeah.
Since I have no idea what you're talking about, it's less adorable to me. But how long is it?
I think it has like a total of 4 seasons.
No, that's a lot. That's a huge time commitment, man.
Well, it's better than Riverdale. I'll tell you that.
Okay, it's like if I'm being waterboarded and I have to choose between that or Riverdale, I'll take that.
And
then.
I love their Christmas episode that they had because like it talks about the Ulog kids. It's like a I want to say Scandinavian or Yiddish folklore, or like basically the Ulog kids. Sabrina's version, they're invisible, but the actual folklore, they're like little gnomes. Yeah. And like they come to your house and create mischief. But
what does that have to do with the Christmas? Is it
because
related to Christmas lore?
Yeah, it's related because like I forgot what the witch's name is, but she has the Ulog kids. Those are all her kids, and you find out that one of Sabrina's relatives, they have a baby because she's taking care of it as a wet mother or a wet nurse. I mean, what's a wet mother? Wet nurse. And like the lady's like, "I hear a baby. Give me the baby." And they're like, "No." And she's like, "But it's Christmas. It will die in the cold."
Sounds creepy.
Yeah, I love occult shows and movies.
That is very you.
Mm-hmm. Secretly under the satire.
Yeah. Well, no, just given how much you love, I know how much you love Constantine, so that makes perfect sense.
Constantine is great. Bring him back as Keanu Reeves, but bleach his hair.
Give him the bleach, but then he'll have to cut his hair too, won't he? He won't be able to keep the weird like '90s look that Keanu.
No, like you can write it. So basically, John Constantine, he's washed up, has long hair, and it's like blonde, and then he cuts it.
So it says Constantine in the comics faces off against more supernatural and magical threats than the regular Justice League typically doesn't deal with. So, that goes without saying.
He's working the sidelines.
Yep. There were criticisms regarding the film's casting, namely Reeves, an American, playing the gruff British supernatural hero. I do remember people not liking his accent. Mm-hmm. Right?
It was kind of weird. Okay. I'll give you that.
That would be very hard to do if you don't. For some reason, the Brits can always do our voice as generic American voice number one. And we have a hard time doing, like, Robert Downey Jr. pulls it off in Sherlock, and that's about the only American who pulls it. Or no, and David Anders pulls it off. He plays British people a lot, even though he's American.
Can you do a British accent?
No, I cannot. I'm not even going to try.
Can you pronounce water?
No.
Oh. Because, like, this is how I realized.
How do you say it?
So, water. So, English speakers in America, we pronounce it as a D, but it's supposed to be a T.
Water.
So, it's water.
That didn't sound British to me.
But you enunciate each letter.
Well,
so, could you pass the water?
That didn't sound British. You failed.
Yeah, I did. I tried. People are going to make fun of me now.
Okay. So it says, while critics weren't enamored with the movie at the time, it has a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not that bad.
It's not.
I mean, it's a rotten score, but that's not completely awful. Constantine has garnered a cult following for its gothic visuals and for being a superhero movie that directly deals with religion. Also very rare. Plus, the cast includes delightful turns from from acclaimed actors like Rachel Weisz, Tilda Swinton, and Peter Stormare. Who did Tilda Swinton?
She played as Michael.
Okay.
She played as Michael, and she was trying to convince Constantine, like, yeah, just fight for God. And he's like, I fight for my own team. And like Michael got banished from heaven and got the wings tearing off. And I was like, yes.
The religious aspects might be more
or
of
Gabriel. I think either Gabriel or Michael. I forgot.
The religious aspects might be more of a hindrance in getting it made in Hollywood these days than Keanu. Like Hollywood just not being a fan of showing religion in a good light.
No, because Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, it talks a lot about religion.
In a good way.
It does, because like
I guess this wouldn't necessarily be a good way.
Because like how Sabrina talks about like Christianity, they call God as the false God. They call him the false God. So they're like, the false God is not the true God.
Why?
Because like they are Satanists.
And they believe that Satan is the actual...
He's a true God, and he was kicked out of heaven.
I feel very cool knowing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I knew that.
Yeah, he gets kicked out of heaven, but like later you find out that like he just wants power. Like he's just a spoiled brat that wants power. And
spoiled brat.
Yeah, like but it's really nice like how they explain it, like how, because like her teacher who gets possessed by Lilith was a Christian woman, and then she gets possessed by the devil's first wife.
Oh wow. We should watch it. This has got to be on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's still there.
We'll watch it.
Yeah. I love it.
I will
you can't
just the fact that you're excited about it makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, because like every season, like the first episodes, you can't skip the intro because the intro gives you...
I'm talking about the movie. The Constantine movie.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I want to watch it.
I thought you were talking about Sabrina for a bit.
No,
I
don't give a crap about Sabrina.
Oh, but yeah, Constantine, it's so good because like basically the opening scene is a woman's getting possessed, and he has a mirror above her, and like the demon's like staring at itself and it's like smiling. Yeah. And he traps it there, and he's like, you can't run anywhere, and he throws the mirror out of the building, and it shatters and kills the beast.
She almost broke her microphone there. If you're listening to the audio version of this, she almost broke her microphone there. She's very excited about this.
I love Constantine so much.
So it says, while Reeves hasn't stepped into the Constantine shoes again, the character was briefly revived for TV. Welsh actor Matt Ryan played a more faithful version of the character on a short-lived NBC show and reprised the role several times for the CW's various DB shows, including Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow. Considering that DC is happy to play fast and loose with its multiverse, even putting Ezra Miller's Flash in the CW Flash series with Grant Gustin, there's no reason for that Reeves couldn't play Constantine again along with Matt Ryan. In fact, I could see Keanu being so humble that he would go and do it on a CW show for like no pay, like because he's just that. He's like, he just wants to do it. So he's like, if it means I have to go make almost no money for it on a network that like almost nobody watches, so be it.
That's true. But I don't know. I didn't like the Matt Ryan version on Legends of Tomorrow when they finally like ended his arc.
Why?
I didn't like it because like, as I told you, like when he saved his beloved, he was like, I curse thee. You did this to me.
My beloved.
Yeah. And he was like, but I saved you. And he's like, you're the one who caused this. Bye. And legit, he left.
Oh, wow. That's kind of crap. Was it like for sure supposed to be the end of the arc, or did something happen? Did he get cast in something else and they just couldn't bring him back?
I think that's the ending of the arc.
That's
but
sad.
Because like
that's
the whole arc was to save his beloved because he was pulled into hell, and like he came back as like a demon, but they didn't realize it was him. And Constantine realized, and he was like, I have to save him. And he saves the little girl who was pulling into hell, but she's like, you're the one who made me go, like, you're the one who got me in there. Put me back, because that's the only world I know.
So who is, like, do you think that the Matt Ryan version is more authentic to the character than the Keanu Reeves version?
I think so. Like, in the original Constantine TV show is, like, really, really good. Because I think if it lasted longer, they could include the Swamp Thing. because the Swamp Thing and Constantine, they always have constant bickers.
Maybe it would have been better if they had waited to do that show instead of trying it on NBC at a time when it's not really ready. Maybe that would have been a good launch for like the DC app. You know, like what's the name of the app for?
It's
DC
just called
University?
DC Universe.
Yeah, like the Swamp Thing got like one season and it was canceled before it even started. And Doom Patrol is doing well, I think.
It is. It's like on season 2, I think.
And Titans, like maybe the Matt Ryan Constantine fits in better in that universe.
But I don't like Titan. I don't like it.
I love season 2. I love S.A. Morales as Deathstroke so freaking much.
Okay, I like that casting, but still, I don't like Titan because it's not like.
I don't care about the comic accuracy though as much.
It's not the comic book accuracy. I followed it from the cartoons.
Okay.
So the original
Teen Titans Go.
No.
Just the original Titans.
No, Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Like
the original.
Yeah, the original is so good because like even though it was like a kid's cartoon, it still talked about a lot of adult things. Yep. And like I didn't like how in Titans, like basically they said Raven is a human born person. And like she later gets her powers. Same thing with Beast Boy. Yeah. No, they were born with it. Like Raven in the original cartoon, she came from a different planet. Her dad is basically the devil, and Beast Boy, he was born with those powers. But in Titans, how they explain it, they're both like Earthborn. Beast Boy is not even green. He slowly becomes green because like slowly his powers like grow stronger. And then Raven is like an emo teenager, and she's like, I don't know how to control my powers. I didn't even know how I have powers.
Say it in that voice.
Might as well
say it in that voice. Well, that's I give a lot more leeway than a lot of people when talking about these things, just because I understand. Like, to me, if something's good, it's good, and if the source material, if it's offensive to the source material, I totally understand why that upsets people. But I tend to be more forgiving of these shows than a lot of the others, especially if it can avoid like the typical identity politics and stuff like that.
But the reason why they had
that's mattered. They haven't managed to avoid that in these shows. I understand that.
But the reason why they had Constantine on NBC like during that time is because you remember our favorite show Grimm. Grimm was like a big hit on that show, and then Once Upon a Time was on ABC.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
that was all the same time.
Yeah, it was all during the same time, so they thought it would be a good time to have like occult stuff at the same time. So that's when Constantine was born, and I like was looking forward to it, but I was looking forward to Grimm more.
I still think 24, but Grimm was coming to an end by 2014.
That's true, but it was still a good show.
Grimm was.
Did you watch all the way to the ending?
Yeah. So Grimm ended in 2017. Oh no, so it still had 3 years. You're right. It still had 3 years left on its run. So wow, yeah, that is kind of, that all fits in there. There was also Sleepy Hollow on Fox. There was a lot of that.
But Sleepy Follow? What's Follow? Sleepy Hollow, like I liked it too, but it wasn't a great following.
What do you mean?
Like, not a lot of people were raving about it.
Well, no, it was a Fox show. It's like, I loved those first 2 seasons because I thought Nicole Bahari was an extremely charismatic young woman and actress, and Tom Mison, who plays Ichabod Crane, is just really, really good in that role. But, like, he was the same way to that character as, like, Tom Ellis is to Lucifer, or in your case, Matt Ryan is to Constantine.
Yeah.
That show is defined by somebody who takes that main character role and makes it something that's undeniably them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I don't know. Like, for me, it was during that time where they were trying to make, like, more creepy and scary stuff. Like, I think during, that was, like, almost at the zombie craze. Like, they made the zombie,
we were headlong into The Walking Dead by that point, right?
Yeah, but like the zombie movies, like the what is it called? Warm Bodies.
Never saw it.
Okay, it was cheesy, but I loved it. I loved it a lot.
Saw Zombieland though.
I did too. But basically, Warm Bodies. The summary of the movie is they're running from zombies, and this his name is N. He doesn't remember his name, but he meets this girl that he falls in love with, and he's like, I can't communicate with her because I'm a zombie. And like every time they eat like brains, they get a little glimpse of memories, like how iZombie
Like
is.
another zombie, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't like take the personality, and slowly he becomes human. That's the zombie cure. Like basically when their heart like glows, it means like their heart is restarting and becoming human. So he slowly becomes human.
That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, well, I don't know what they were trying to do with it, but it was like a romance movie, action movie, horror movie at the same time.
Hard when you have to put that many genres together. It's very hard to pull off.
Yeah, because he
to
killed
be all those things at once.
Yeah, because he killed the main girl's boyfriend, and that's why he had like a lot of good memories with her.
Oh. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.